Becoming successful. Let's talk about it.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, question for you.
Oh my God, I've seen your shit.
Yeah? Could I interview you real quick?
What made you pick me out?
You just had to look. You look like you got money, bro. You just...
This is crazy. Are you filming this shit? This guy at my gym comes up to me and says to me, "You've got to watch this guy." And I said, "I watch him all the time."
Wow.
But I never thought I'd get interviewed. That's insane.
What line of business are you in?
I sell gym equipment around the world.
You're an entrepreneur.
I'm an entrepreneur.
How long have you been a business owner?
18 years.
Over these 18 years, what's the greatest lesson you've learned about entrepreneurship?
Believe in yourself, always.
How did you find that self-belief to go make millions of dollars? It's one of the biggest things people struggle with.
I think I had this burning desire inside of me from a young boy. The more people that talk shit about me, like it gets me emotional even thinking about it, because I was one of them that, like, you count me out, I'm gonna do it.
So you don't come from a lot of money?
No, my dad comes from Athens, Greece. Immigrant, come from nothing, and then raised me to be who I am today.
But you just never took no for an answer.
Dude, like when I say never took no, 15 years ago, me and her were robbing Peter to pay Paul.
8 out of 10 businesses, they won't make it past 5 years.
Correct.
From your perspective, what's the most common mistake you see business owners make?
So it's funny, in the gym world, about 3 out of 10 is gonna make it. And so what I normally see them do is fail before they even get open. Meaning, they got $500,000 to open this gym. They wanna come to me and spend $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 on equipment. And I say, whoa, they went into the high dollar district. Their rent's $38,000 a month for a gym. They have no money in the bank to back them. They're setting themselves up for failure before they even open. But I will tell everyone, no business is a get rich quick, point blank period. But you got to be able to fucking sleep at the business.
Yo, I love this guy's videos because there is always so many golden nuggets that come from this content. When you talk to successful entrepreneurs, what they're doing, challenges they've faced in their lifetime, and to be able to plan ahead as a young individual, or maybe someone who is a little bit older in life but getting started on that entrepreneur route, or you're just looking to get a better life advice on how to attack what you have going on personally in your life. That's what I love about these videos. One thing that sticks out to me on this one is the guy said you have to believe in yourself. I feel like that's one of the most important things when it comes to challenging yourself in life, or to being able to do something new, a new career, a new, life change, whatever that is. Believing in yourself and having that confidence can literally be the difference of becoming successful and not being successful. So many people go through life and they say, "Oh, that would never happen to me," or "Oh no, I could never do that. There's no way." But the way I like to look at life is a little different. When I look at life, I see, hey, this guy's successful. He's a human being just like I am. He bleeds red just like I do. If he can do it, well, so can I. Now, maybe there's something messed up, screws a little loose in my head or something, but I feel like over my 33 years of life, me being confident in myself and whatever I go to do, that helps me become successful in whatever I'm doing. When I face roadblocks or challenges, or I face failure, I figure out a way how to come back from that, and that is all because I refuse to quit, but I also believe in myself. I believe in myself to figure out the answer to the problem. I believe in myself to push forward and to keep going, to telling myself I'm going to figure out a way to make this happen. And then the last point I wanted to make on this guy's video, because gosh, every single one of these are awesome. He said so many businesses fail before they even get started because of how they're managing their money and their cash flow. If you're a business and you're going out to spend, a large amount of 6 figures or even 7 figures, and you have no money in the bank, or worst case, you have no money coming in on a monthly basis, it's the worst thing you do. Now, coming from me, I built a software company, and one of the most important things that I paid attention to as the co-owner of that business was making sure that our books were good. My partner and I started this business with $1,000 each, and we always made sure that cash flow was coming in, that cash was okay. We never had to go into debt. We bootstrapped the company from the ground up. That we never took on investors. And I think us being able to manage our money correctly in the business, but also on a personal finance standpoint, that really made that business become successful, because it was able to withstand tough times, tough months. And, we were managing our money and our cash flow correctly, which I think is very important in any business, but also very important in your overall life finances. You need to manage your personal finances how you would a business.
How old are you now?
I'm 57.
And if you were to go back in time and have a conversation with your 20-year-old self, what's the best advice you would give to your younger self?
If a bird lands on the branch, does the bird trust the branch, or does it trust its wings? And the clue, I've seen many birds land on branches, but what I've never seen is a branch break and the bird fall and die. trust your wings.
Wow. How long have you been a business owner for?
On my own,
Yes.
5 years. I branched off and started my own company.
Who was the most important person that you met throughout your career?
My mom.
Yeah.
My mom.
Was she a business owner or?
Well, of a house, but she taught me the most valuable lesson, and she said, start with a standard. What you accept, you can't change. So if you don't set the standard, the best coaches, the best leaders, right? Think of home plate in baseball. It's 17 inches. The coaches don't widen the plate. You got to play to the standard. So when you start a business, you say, my policy is this.
So in other words, you got to know your worth.
You got to know it. Know your value. You can't give freebies.
What was the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
Well over 7 figures. That's me personally.
What's the most common mistake that you see business owners make in today's world?
Right, so you make the strategy, and they think it's simple. The strategy plus execution equals results. False. Focus on that plus. Strategy plus who owns what in the strategy. Because if people don't know what they own in your strategy, when 2 people own the dog dies. I thought you fed the dog. No, I thought you fed the dog dies. So it's deliberately clear who should feed the dog so the dog stays healthy, so my business stays healthy.
So I have a feeling we're going to see a similarity in a lot of these videos, and that's basically believing in yourself. I hear about it in books that I've read, from 20, 30 years ago. And you see that same thing in today's age, is that there's always going to be so many people who never truly believe in themselves, and that's why they end up where they're at. It doesn't matter the age you're at. It doesn't matter if you're too young. It doesn't matter if you're too old. Doesn't matter if you're starting over in the middle of your life at 40. It doesn't matter. This is your life, and you get to choose, whatever you want to do. You literally are the main reason why you're at where you're at today in life. Now, obviously, things happen. Curveballs get thrown your way. Bad luck happens. I get it. But the decisions you can make to push yourself further in your career, or as a husband, or as a wife, as a friend, whatever is most valuable to you in your life and what you want to pursue and work towards, you have to just believe in yourself and know that you can do it. Now, the other part I love about this video is he talks about setting the standard. Now, know your value, but your value is going to be a little different if you're a 20-something-year-old coming in fresh to a new career versus a 40, 50-year-old who has a lot of experience and expertise in a certain field. So if you're a 20-year-old, you can't come into the career thinking, I know my value, I know my worth. Let me puff up my chest a little bit and show the bosses who's really in charge. No, you can't do that. You got to slow your roll there, rookie. You got to put in your time. You got to put in the effort. You got to show them that you're willing to work your ass off to get ahead and to improve. Or maybe you're, as a business owner, you show your value by putting in the work and showing people that you can make this business happen.
Have you ever been broke before?
No, I don't know. I don't think so.
What industry did you pursue a career in?
Consulting.
Consulting. Quick question for you. I started a channel in Austin, Texas. I go all over the country. What I do for a living is I just ask people a couple questions on their best advice to the younger generation. Can I just get 2 minutes of your time, 1 minute of your time real quick?
Legit.
I promise you, I'll show you the channel. It's called The School of Hard Knocks. I've interviewed Mark Cuban, the president of Nike, CEO of
Okay.
Frito-Lay, CEO of 7-Eleven.
Sure.
So you're a consultant.
I was
And
retired.
what's the most common mistake you see business owners make?
They
from
have a
scaling?
great product or service, but they don't know how to manage cash flow.
Throughout your career as a consultant, what was the most amount of money that you ever made in a single year?
8 to 10 million.
That's just for yourself? Or how did you scale your income from 7 to 8 figures? Like, say somebody's making $1 million right now. They want to go from making $1 to $10 million.
Retained equity in our company, so I had a salary, but the 7 or 8 million came through dividends on the equity that we owned because we were so profitable.
Did you come from a lot of money?
I came from nothing.
What'd your parents do?
My dad worked at a feed mill, and my mother worked at Motorola.
How did you change your family's trajectory? Like you did
Instead
kind
of working for a salary for the big man, I'd learned my trade in 10 years working for the big firms, and then the next 25 years, I built my own companies.
You got amazing advice. So thank you so much.
All right.
Greatest lesson you learned about entrepreneurship?
What's
Greatest lesson that you learned about entrepreneurship?
Most fail, but you have to have the burn the ships mentality. There is no retreat, and you're taking the island.
Oh, that's solid. I love that. Basically, there's no turning back. You just keep pushing forward and you keep going. I freaking love that. Now, something else that popped up in these videos, again, that's so important, not even just in business, but again, in our personal lives, managing your cash flow. Guys, when you have money coming in and you give every single dollar a job and you tell them dollars where to go, what to do, this dollar is to pay off debt, this dollar is to put held in cash, this dollar is to go invest, this dollar is to reinvest back into the business, or this dollar is to have a little bit of fun, whatever it is, you need to make sure you're giving your dollars a job and you're not just kind of ignoring it and letting money just kind of go wherever it freely wants to go. No, you have to manage it correctly. Business, personal life, like I talk about here on the channel all the time, if you manage your finances correctly, meaning you run it like you should run a business, you're going to be successful with your finances. And he says that's why a lot of businesses fail is because they're not managing cash flow correctly. Managing money is honestly probably next to your health is one of the most important things you can do in life. You got to watch how you're spending. You've got to work on increasing income or lowering expenses if you're fine where you're at. Just manage your money correctly.
Excuse me, sir. Question for you, sir. Have you ever been broke before?
Broke, yeah.
And what do you do for a living out here?
No, I'm not doing this.
Real quick. I started a
I
channel.
love it, but I'm not doing it.
I started a channel at UT Austin. I started a channel at the University of Texas. I grew to about 6 million followers.
Did you interview the guy in the house that owns all the McDonald's?
Yes, that was me.
All right, I'll do it.
You got me?
Yeah, I
I
like
appreciate
that
you,
guy.
man.
Yeah,
That's
he's a friend
awesome.
of mine.
What industry did you decide to pursue a career in?
Construction.
Construction?
Yep.
How long have you been a business owner for?
Broad assumption, but 12 years.
What's the greatest lesson that you've learned about entrepreneurship over these 12 years?
Leave all the money in the bank.
And is that a big mistake you notice a lot of business owners make is they like to take that money out?
Flash, no cash.
How did you get the money to start your business?
Yeah, it's a great question. I flushed my 401k, so I took all the cash I had and went all in.
Who was the most important person you hired?
You know, the single most important person wasn't someone that I hired, it was someone who hired me and treated me like a sponge.
What is the best advice you ever got from a mentor?
Sit on your hands and listen.
Don't try and talk too much.
That's it.
Over these 12 years, what was the most amount of money that you made in a single year?
Won't do it.
Could you give me a range maybe?
Nope.
How did you scale, right? A lot of people that have a great idea, they'll start the business, they really struggle to scale.
Asset-based lending is the way you can scale. By the way, the cheapest money you're going to find in the world is from a bank.
I'm assuming that you have a big risk tolerance then as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I'm risk tolerant.
What's the biggest risk you ever took?
When everybody said don't, I did it.
Hey, sometimes you gotta live a little different. Whenever everyone's jumping off the cliff, or maybe no one's jumping off the cliff and you want to have a little fun, you think it's worth it, you do it. Sometimes you become successful. Now, maybe that was a bad analogy. Maybe jumping off the cliff isn't the best analogy to put with starting a business or becoming successful. But you get the picture. I like this man's thought process. And he also stated what all of these successful guys are saying. He said, all flash, no cash. Having your money in order. Having money set aside for a rainy day. That is so important. Because if you cannot handle what everyone's going to face in life at sometimes is hardship or something popping up that you weren't expecting, and now you got to front $2,000-$3,000 or maybe more, or a little less, whatever it is, you need to be able to handle that. And there's so many people walking around today that literally cannot afford a pop-up $1,000 expense that they were not expecting. And that needs to change. And the only way it's going to change, and the only person that's going to change it for you is yourself. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to change the financial spot you're in right now. You are the one that has to make that mindset shift, and you have to be the one to move forward, to get ahead, to make the sacrifices, and to do things a little different than everyone else is doing it to get ahead financially and to become successful. And sometimes taking risk is what it takes. If you're doing a career change, maybe you're going somewhere a little different that's a little bit of a career change, but you think it's going to help you out on the long run. Do it. Try it. Figure it out. Worst case is you go right back to where you were. That's the way I like to look at it. I mean, whatever you're going to do, you know, it's not like it's going to kill you. I mean, unless you're doing something crazy dangerous, but you know what I mean. If you think it's going to benefit you and you believe in it, why not try it? You never know what's going to happen. And I love this saying. I live by this. I would rather fail trying than never try at all. If I failed at everything I did in life, I would still be okay with myself to telling myself that at least I tried it. Because I do not want to get to my final moments in life and look back and say, man, I wish I would have tried this. Or, man, I wish I would have tried that, but I was too scared of what everybody thought of me if I would have failed. I don't let that happen to me. I don't. I push everything out about... Now, there's times in life that I tell myself, yeah, I get worried about what other people may think if I do fail about something, but then I tell myself, I was like, those people have no control over my life. Who gives a shit if I fail? Who cares? Like, if I want to try something different because it's my life, then I'm going to do it. And I think that's a very, very powerful mindset shift that if you can get past about worrying what other people think about you and you start worrying about bettering yourself in your life, life becomes a bit better.
Excuse me, sir. Question for you. Have you ever been broke before?
Have I ever been broke before?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What do you do for a living out here in Houston, Texas?
So what do I do for a living?
Yeah, like what industry?
I'm a roofing contractor.
So you kind of own your own business?
I do.
Yeah.
I've owned it for 35 years.
What was the most amount of money that you ever made in a single year?
I'm asked the question, what's the most money I've ever made in a single year? Easy peasy, $5 million.
$5 million.
Easy, 1 year.
I gotta ask, do you come from a lot of money?
No, from zero money. I went to college and paid my own way through college.
What was that turning point like for you towards financial freedom?
Financial freedom was just pay your house off. People don't believe paying your house off. There's always get the money out of your house. Pay your house off, get out of debt, and live from there.
And how did you get the money to start your business? Like, did you have to borrow money or leverage any debt?
No, I borrowed no money. I started on my own, knocking on doors, and made it happen. When the door opens, walk through it.
And how old are you now?
I'm 59, going on 60.
How old were you when you became a millionaire?
35?
Why was roofing your vehicle? Why did you decide
It was a crazy thing. I was going to school to be a vet, and my uncle, God bless his soul, I love him so much, he was in the roofing industry, and he gave me an opportunity when I was so afraid at school I was going to quit. But I got an education for it. And they say education's not worth anything? Bullshit. Education's worth everything.
Education is freedom.
It's freedom. It gives you opportunity because you can't be told no because you know better. He who knows most never loses. He who knows most wins.
Thank you so much for your time.
Right, for you? Do you know most?
I know
it sounds
most.
like you do because you're asking the right questions.
Yes, sir.
There you go. Thanks,
Appreciate it.
guys.
It means
I mean,
a
I
lot, sir.
appreciate the
Thank you so
opportunity to
much. I
talk
really
to you.
appreciate it.
When a door opens up, walk through it. If you're in life right now and you see an opportunity that you maybe think may benefit you, why not try it out? Why not see what happens? There's so many stories you hear of people like this that say, hey, if I never would have made that one decision, if I would have stepped back and said, no, I can't do that right now, or no, I'm more about what people may think if I fail, just freaking do it. See what happens. Like I said, worst case, go back to where you were at before. Or go get something similar. Try in life, guys. Try different things. Have fun. See what happens.
And how old are you now?
46.
How old were you when you became a millionaire?
34.
What was the best financial decision that you've made throughout your lifetime?
Buy real estate.
Buy real estate.
Yeah, that's it. And then ultimately, you buy real estate. Don't sell it unless you need the money or there's a better opportunity. If there's a better opportunity, use the tax code 1031 exchange to be able to defer your tax. And next thing you know, it's like playing Monopoly. One turns into two, two turns into four, and then you buy hotels.
What industry did you decide to pursue a career in?
I own a real estate brokerage.
Now, at your real estate brokerage, what's the most amount of money that you guys have sold in revenue in 1 year?
1.4 billion.
And what was the best financial advice that you've ever received throughout your lifetime?
You see me smiling because there's only one. Money is like shit. If you leave it in a pile, it stinks, and if you spread it around, things grow.
Give somebody the blueprint to becoming a real estate millionaire in today's world.
Have more real estate conversations than anybody else and build a good reputation. My dad always says it takes 20 years to build a good reputation and 5 minutes to kill it. At the end of the day, in real estate, there's really three things. You got to find a lead, you got to find the money, because if you don't have any money, you got to find people that can bring you money, and then the education to get the deal closed, or vendor partners like title companies and lending to be able to get it done. Something that I was taught in real estate was find starters, estate planners, and enders. Starters are guys that are getting started. Estate planners are people who have a basic portfolio, and enders are people who don't want to work anymore. They don't have the energy, but they have the asset base and the money to be able to help you out. And so with that information, if you go build a small network, then you got to go hustle and find the deal. Once you find the deal, one of my favorite sayings in real estate is the money will find the deal.
So if you guys are following me on Instagram right now, you can see that I have been posting a lot of real estate content lately, and that is because I have been finally taking a change in life on focusing on something I've been wanting to do for years. Now, I haven't been able to do it the past few years because the wife and I and the kids have been traveling, living in different areas, but now that we're planted, now that we're back home, I'm ready to take on that next step in my career as real estate. So I've been documenting my way and showing how I'm trying to find deals, cold calling, driving for dollars, and how I want to just immerse myself in the real estate community around here in this local area where I live in good old near Springfield, Missouri. And I've been doing just that. I'm ready to take that change and focus a little more of my time on building my real estate portfolio. Right now I have some rental properties in Kansas City, but I'm not anywhere near where I want to be in life when it comes to owning real estate, having real estate business, and becoming more involved in the real estate community here locally. But he's so right when it comes to real estate and all the points he made. Just from what I've been into it in my time, I wouldn't say I'm like a seasoned, experienced real estate guy, but from being in the game for a bit, I agree with a lot of the things he says. And I think the biggest thing is just playing the game a little differently, meaning like go all that extra mile to go and find that lead. Make the cold call, make a connection, go to the meetups, meet people, and be ready to go if a deal comes up and presents itself. Like, be ready to pull the trigger, because that sometimes is the hardest part. Like, going to find the leads and the deals and everything is easier than when it comes to actually executing the deal and putting that money up and saying, all right, we're officially doing this. We're going. And sometimes that's what you got to do. When I signed The contract to close on my first rental property with my wife up in Kansas City, I about shit myself. I did. I was like, what the hell am I getting myself into? Did I run my numbers correctly? Is it going to work out? Luckily it did. You know, they're doing great. I still have those properties today. It's all about sometimes just taking that risk and figuring out as you go. That's the best education you're going to get, is learning along the way and actually doing the work.
Excuse me, sir. Quick question for you, man. Yeah, how you doing? Is this your house?
Depends who's asking.
I go all over the country just asking people a few questions on their advice to the younger generation. Wanted to know if we could ask you a few questions for the channel.
Nah, sure, I wouldn't mind it.
Is that cool?
Yeah, nah, that's cool. Come on in.
What do you do for a living to be able to afford this place out in Atlanta, Georgia?
I'm a serial entrepreneur.
How many businesses do you own right now?
Right now, I got 6 different businesses.
What was the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
15 million.
And have you ever been broke before?
1,000%. 24, I was homeless and broke.
Are you a buyer or a seller?
I'm a seller.
Why is that?
Listen, my mentors told me early on, more people got rich during the gold rush selling shovels than looking for gold.
What do you think is more important, mindset or skill set?
The mindset. Because with a bad mindset, you'll say, oh man, people are great at sales, I'm a sell. Yeah, but you're an introvert. Your mindset will allow you to not make bad decisions thinking that, oh yeah, if I just go learn how to work on cars, I could be a millionaire. And it's like, yo, bro, you got one arm.
For somebody broke right now, what is an actionable step that they can take to get really serious about becoming financially free like yourself?
It'll never come from money. You don't have a financial issue. It's a personal issue. You have traumas or things like that, because for you to get into a situation where you have no money, you're making bad decisions, you're making bad choices on a daily basis. You have bad habits that you need to correct. From that point, I start to realize, okay, what are the next steps that I need to take? You know, if you flat broke on rock bottom, I will pick up and learn how to sell, right? Once I get to a complacent point where I'm okay, because I don't want to be a toxic person, have negative traits on me, and then go try to sell and develop on top of it. You can't put sugar on shit.
I like that. You can't put sugar on shit. That's so good. We've seen the similarity in these videos. And the first thing is mindset. Believe in yourself. Second thing is making sure you're managing your finances correctly in your business, but also in your everyday personal life. And third is taking the risk of just doing something, making the change, starting a business, making a career switch, whatever it is that you're facing that you think you know you could do differently in your life, or maybe it's something you want to test out and do differently in your life. Most people never do it. Most people always sit back, say, I can't figure it out, I'm never gonna make it work, and they never even try. Let you be the one to make that change. Let you be the one to be different. Believe in yourself. Know that you can do it. Know that it's gonna be tough, but trust in yourself to figure it out along the way and just get started. That's all I got, guys. Have a good one. Until the next one, you all take care. Cheers.